What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, I am bringing you all a everyday makeup tutorial. Since I've been gone for about 3 months from YouTube, I wanted to share with you guys what I have been doing, what I've been using on a day-to-day basis. And I didn't want to do it in the format of a favorites video or anything like that. I felt like it would be more helpful if I showed you what I use, why I use it, and how I use it with what brushes. So as you can see, this look is very, very basic. I have been keeping it very simple, very light, no eyeshadow to little eyeshadow. So I hope that this video is very helpful for you all who is looking for a 10 to 15 minute makeup look, or just something to make you look more polished on a daily basis. So if you want to see how I got the look, make sure that you stay tuned. All right, you guys, let's get into it. So you guys will have to tell me if you guys enjoy a good talk through video, or if you would rather me just use the products and show you as I'm using them. I actually prefer talking through because it kind of helps me along the way and make sure that I don't forget things, and you know, I don't know, that's just what I like. I like talk throughs, so I do talk throughs, but you guys should let me know for sure if this is something that you enjoy or whatever. But let's go ahead and get into this everyday face routine. So all the products that I have in front of me are things that I legit use either daily or semi-daily, meaning like if I want to be a little bit more zhuzhed up or I want more coverage, this is something that I grab for. And this is the NARS Velvet Matte Skin Tint, and I am in the shade Cusco, which is the medium 1.5. And the way that I use this, which I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me use before, which I used to use it all over my face, but as of lately, it's the summertime right now, and I really just use it in the areas that I tend to lose my powder or I need a little bit more coverage. So as you can see, it's mainly like around my mouth, on my forehead, and definitely on my nose. So I'm just going to take the rest of that here, and I like using the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush just to kind of buff everything in. All right, as you can see, that gave me some pretty decent coverage, and it just applied, it more so just helps as like a barrier between my powder and my skin, just something for the powder to adhere to. And whenever I don't use the NARS, I definitely just grab for a powder of any sort. This is one that I'm actually trying to use up right now, which is the Sephora Matte Perfection Powder Foundation, and I am in the shade 30 Warm Sand. And I like to use the Real Techniques powder brush just to kind of buff that in, and I do use a generous amount. I kind of buff it in just to make sure it kind of fills in my pores. It just gives me a smoother skin appearance, which I really love in a powder. And I do make sure I drag that over my eyelids as well, just because on a day-to-day basis, I'm not using an eyeshadow per se. And I am kind of avoiding my under eye area because I don't want to put a powder and then do my concealer. And I know that probably seems like kind of out of order, but I mean, it's just how this video is going. Anyway, so to correct my under eyes, I am not using a concealer, which I know y'all probably like, what, girl? No concealer? No. It's summertime. I'm trying to keep it light. So what I've been using lately is the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter in Bright Forecast. I've had this thing for the longest, and I honestly don't know why I slept so hard on it. I really like how it provides just, you know, enough coverage just to, you know, brighten my under eye area, but it's really, really lightweight, which is why I really love it. And I'm gonna go on ahead and get my powder ready as well. And I'm just using the Laura Mercier. This is the Secret Brightening Powder. And I wanna say they have 2 shades. This is number 1. And I just put enough in the cap just to, you know, dust on a powder brush. And I'm gonna use that same Real Techniques brush that I used for the NARS Tinted Moisturizer. And I am going to start to, in more of a stippling motion, blend this out. All right, and the brush that I typically like to use with this powder specifically is the Morphe E49 brush, which is like a tulip shape. It kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It buffs it out very, very lightly. It's not like a duo fiber brush, but I find that I don't want to bake with this powder, basically is what I'm saying. I don't like to bake with this powder because it has a lot of reflective qualities to it, along with the prep and prime, and it can just be a little too much. It can provide a lot of flashback, and nobody wants to see that. Even though, like, on a daily basis, I'm not always snapping photos, it's just better safe than sorry. So I just like to put on a nice thin layer of the powder, just to make sure that the highlight doesn't move around too much. All right, now just taking my powder brush, I'm just gonna lightly dust that around where we highlighted, just to make sure everything kind of blends in seamlessly. All right, so the next thing that I always work on is, of course, my eyebrows. I'm not gonna go through this with you guys on camera, so I am just gonna go on ahead and skip ahead, but I will share the products that I'm using. I'm using the ColourPop brow color, and this is in the shade Banging Brunette. And one of my make or break products, no matter what kind of product that I use on my eyebrows, be it this, a powder, whatever, this brush is a game changer in my opinion. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12 eyebrow brush. Love this thing. So yeah, if you ain't got it, girl, get it. So now we can move on to the rest of my face. This should come as no surprise. I am obsessed with bronzer, and this by far has been like one of my favorites. It's between this and the MAC, oh shit, what is it called? If I remember what it's called, I'll put it on the screen somewhere. But anyways, this is definitely an everyday bronzer. As you can see, like, I've used it to death. And I use this brush is raggedy as hell, and I'm low-key embarrassed that I'm even showing you. But it's just a angled blush brush. I got this from Coastal Scents probably like 7 years ago or so. And I just like it because it just does the job. I mean, I don't feel like bronzing is anything that's super difficult or anything like that. But I load my brush up because I am very generous with the bronzer. And I kind of focus it further back on my cheekbone area and kind of bring it up into my hairline. And then I take whatever's remaining and just kind of, you know, massage it. I just kind of dust it around my hairline. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. I can show you better than I can tell you. So I'll just shut up on this part. So once I lay down the base of like where I want most of the color, I just take whatever's left over and just kind of blend it in, just so it doesn't look like I was really trying too hard with the bronzer, even though it's a lot. And I also take it underneath my chin and down my neck a little bit, just to make sure the colors kind of distribute well. If I'm really feeling like doing the most that day, I will kind of like contour my nose a little bit. I'm just going to work, so I'm not even worried about that. But let's go ahead and move on to the rest. So I know this palette is, I want to say it was limited edition and it's no longer around, but I want to say that you can find all of the colors individually. So this is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill face palette that they came out with last year. These highlights and these blushes are ones that I grab for every single day, and as you can tell, I have not really had to dig in too deep into this palette. Becca's powder products in general are amazing, and I highly recommend people trying them out because, I mean, like I said, I've had this for over a year now, and I pretty much go for it every single day, and it's not budging. It's very, very pigmented stuff, so you do have to be careful. But anyways, let's just go on ahead and dig in. So I don't know what I'm feeling like today. I am actually going to do my eyes first. So taking just a fluffy blending brush, which is the E40 by Sigma, I am going into this middle shade here, which is Amaretto. It's one of their mineral blushes. Like I said, I want to say that you can buy these all individually. If I can find it, I will make sure that I put it down in the description. So I'm really just wanting to define my eyes slightly, so I just take a little bit on the outer corner and in my crease and just kind of blend it out and let this be like a one shadow look. And then I also want to take, this is Prosecco Pop with just like a larger shadow brush. This one is like one from a kit that I had many years ago. I want to say it was a Sonia Kashuk. And I'm just going to put that on the highest point of my brow. Then I am going to take Champagne Pop on a small defining brush. This is one that I got from Coastal Scents forever ago. And I am going to pop that on my inner corner. And that's pretty much it for the eyes. For blush, I think I am going to go for Pamplemousse? I don't know. It's this matte like coral shade, and I am using a Morphe M500 brush. This is one of my absolutely favorite brushes for blush because it really diffuses the product and makes sure that, you know, it's not too much. See, it's just, and I really kind of focus right on the apples of my cheek, and I just kind of blend it into my bronzer. All right, so next I am going to go on ahead and highlight the rest of my face. I believe I'm just going to use Champagne Pop, and I am using this fan brush, which is also by Morphe, but it does not have a number or anything, so sorry about that. To kind of lock everything in, I always like using a setting spray. One that I'm particularly using right now is the matte, the one that I'm particularly using right now is the NYX Matte Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray. I really like this, or like using a setting spray in general, just to make sure that all the powders that I used are kind of like, you know, all kind of melded in together. And so I don't look powdery, because that's not cute. I'm pretty generous with it, and what I usually do is take my beauty blender and just kind of, you know, tap that into everything so it all kind of works together. All right, so now that we've used our setting spray, now I go in with my mascara. And I usually do this last because I can be really sloppy with my mascara. The one that I'm using today is the Maybelline Colossal Big Shot Volume Express. And this one has become one of my favorites. I believe I showed this to you guys plenty of times in a video before, and this is probably like my third tube of this. But I really like how it grabs onto my lashes and just extends them out, providing some length and volume. And I think the whole point of this mascara is for it to be a one coater, which I usually prefer anyway. So I do like how my lashes react. As you can see, got a lot of length, a lot of volume, which is absolutely what I like. All right, and last but certainly not least, I just grabbed a few products that I always keep in my purse. One being the Hourglass. This is called the Girl lip product. I don't know, it's just called Girl. And I have it in the shade Influencer, which is a really nice, just like everyday lip color. It just provides, like, you know, a little bit of color, tons of moisture, which I really love. But this product is perfect for me on the go. Like I said, it stays in my purse, so anytime my lips need a little bit of color and moisture, this is what I usually go for. And I'm going to top that with a gloss, which is the Lancome Juicy Tube in the shade Simmer. All right, so that is everything for my everyday go-to look. In real life, this probably takes me about 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So even though I was explaining everything as I go, just keep in mind, even though this may seem like a lot of products, which in my mind it's not, I don't know, you guys let me know. But it really does just take like 10 minutes to throw all of these on, and I'm out the door ready for work. And as you can see, I look polished, I look awake, I look fresh, which is typically what I go for on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys, and until the next video, I will see y'all later. Peace.